I've been waiting all year for Jeff Hafley to dig deep into his bag of tricks and pull out some pressures. This is what I initially thought that he was going to do with Green Bay, and it's slowly taken time for him to kind of turn the heat up on opposing offenses. Now, we're still not at a high pressure rate on early downs. He's still about on first and second. He's at 27%. At week 3, that was about 25%. So we've only dialed it up a little bit on early downs, but where he's really starting to cook is on those third downs. We saw this against Houston and CJ Stroud. He's now blitzing at around, on average, on third and long, third and medium, around 55 to 57%. A week ago in week 6, that was at 47%. So he is completely jumping and really leaning into his pressure package, which is something that I thought he would do initially. And I'm glad that we're finally there. We're going to examine his double mug pressure series that he had against the Texans, something that was really good, and something that I think he can really lean into going forward. This was definitely Jeff Hafley's flavor of the week. They ended up running this particular pressure 3 different times. It got another pressure after this, but the second time they ended up running it, I think they got a completed pass on it. But the first time they run it, it hit. And this is this is just a really good designed simulated pressure. You can see here that we have a bunch of people here on the line of scrimmage, but we're only going to end up having 6-man protection. Dalton Schultz is not a great blocking tight end, and so he's going to get lost. He's actually going to try and chip this defensive end. So what we're going to get is we're going to get the tackle here to work to the face of the defensive end, and then he's going to kind of slough off into this A gap. We're going to get our edge to kind of work vertically, bring in that tight end, but then he is going to overlap. And so what we're going to end up getting is this edge pressure off, and nobody is going to be there at all. He's going to have direct access to the quarterback. Now they're going to run Tampa behind this, so they're showing a cover 3 shell, which the Packers run a lot of cover 3. So this is one of those where, okay, we could see that we get some sort of maybe a bonus, and then our 2 edge guys drop out, right? So we end up with our 4 guys, and then we have our 3 deep. So we're actually going to end up running Tampa out of this. So at the snap of the ball, you can see we're going to get our pin loop stunt. Notice how we have 3 guys on 1 guy. Our defensive end is going to go. We're going to end up getting the guard working out, but the tight end doesn't have anybody to block, and he doesn't see anybody. And you can see that we have direct access. We have 3 guys on 1. I mean, this is the epitome of what you talk about when it is protection manipulation. So we're going to push to the flat. We're going to have a big half by the corner. We're getting our half over here. We've got our flat corner. We're going to have our wall two, and then we are going to get our Tampa pole run through. So this is our simulated pressure out of a double mug presentation. The Texans don't do a very good job of picking this up, and Stroud has nowhere to go. So again, let's go back to the beginning. Presentation. You're going to see the defensive end does a really good job of stabbing vertical to pull the tight end. We also get a really good job of the tackle stabbing the offensive tackle and kind of riding into that B gap. And then we're going to get the defensive end looping to the A. It's fine that they pick him up. All he has to do is, if it's open, you go. If it's closed, you stay, because you want to force that quarterback to not be able to step up. It allows this edge rusher to get there. And again, your manufacturing plays for your best defensive player, which is Xavier McKinney. I mean, he has like 5 picks on the year. Now we're adding a sack to a stat sheet. We're going to get another simulated pressure here, but we're going to actually pick. So the thing that you get in these double mug sets is that there's a lot of guys in the middle. You're going to get the running back stepping up to 58. Well, if 58 drops out, now you've got basically combo protection. And all combo protection means is that we've got these 2 manning this side, and the center's going to slide this way. So they decide we're going to slide away from the running back. We're going to get the center slide. So we're going to have 3 for 3 over here. We're going to have 2 for 2 over here. And then we're going to have the back. Now 58 is going to drop out. So how do you get a free runner, or how do you get somebody big on a little guy like the running back? And the way you do this is with 45. He's actually going to bring the center. He's going to pick this guard. We're going to see a loop stunt here, and then he's going to drop out. They have to still honor the out. So these guys are going to go. We're going to drop 91, waste the tackle. The tackle is not going to fold back inside to pick this up, and we're going to build a nice alley right to CJ Stroud off of this pick concept. So again, as the ball is going, you're going to see 45. He's going to engage the center, let him push him into that guard. Exactly what we want to do. Watch how 97 doesn't really get super vertical. He's going to work to the face of the guard, and then he's going to rip inside once he gets that. The center now does not have an angle. CJ Stroud has to step up, and guess what? 45, because he picked, he now has the angle to the quarterback. So what we have is, if the center wants to then wash him away, the quarterback steps up for the escape, and guess who's right there? You have the linebacker who has leveraged off of his block and is now going to be able to collect the sack. It's another good example of this double mug pressure, manipulating protections and not running the exact same thing every single time. So you have to contend. Every time that you get double mug pressure from the Packers, you're going to have to contend. It can be a simulated pressure off the edge, or it can be one of these pick pressures inside. This is a really good example of a linebacker with an interior defensive lineman. Now, let's say the running back ends up trying to pick him up. I'm taking 97 all day on a running back, all day. He's going to walk him back into the quarterback. It's a good example, again, of a pick pressure from a double mug. Hafley really in his bag against the Houston Texans. In this last one, we're going to get another pick pressure, but it's going to be a max blitz, meaning everybody's going to go. So we got cover 0 behind it. And also, we're going to use the 2 interior linebackers who are mugged up to use the pick. So what's going to end up happening is we're going to have 56. He's going to kind of work to nail the center, bring the running back. Now, a lot of times, again, running backs are less skilled pass protection blockers. So what happens is, as you are picking the center, so the center's going to fan to 45, you get the running back who's going to step up. You want to fit right off the hip of that center, and you want to bring the running back with you. So he is initially going to then just lock on to 56. So what ends up happening is we stab 45 and we wrap him around. Remember, we're getting the out over here, and then we're getting an out over here, probably with some sort of a chip by the tight end. So we're creating another alley, and the way that we're able to do that is by picking the center with the initial linebacker, number 56. So as the ball is snapped, you can see 56 has direct access to the quarterback. But if he goes vertical right now, the running back is probably going to pick him off. And then as 45 wraps around, the center is going to be able to work with him. They're going to be on different levels. We want these guys to be on the same level. So you can see 56 is going to pick. He's going to bring the running back. So if the running back actually comes with him, that's great. If he doesn't, now we're going to get a kind of a passive blocker on an active rusher. So as this goes along, you can see 56 nails him. So the coaching point here is to pin the hip, climb vertically, bring the running back. Notice how the running back has no idea that 45 is looping next to him. So as we get this is a beautiful pick. This is exactly this is clinic. This is exactly what it should look like. Look at this beautiful alley that we have. These two guys are like, look, we're just setting the pocket. Thank you for blocking me. Okay, I'm going to get vertical to make sure that you have to step up. Notice how he has to step up. Notice these two guys are like, thank you for blocking me as well. We've created this beautiful alley right here for 45 to work vertically. He gets vertical and he takes CJ Stroud out. So again, let's go back to the beginning. We're going to pick the center with 56. He's going to climb vertically to cut him off. You can see all of our linemen are compressing, and we have a nice alley for 45. CJ Stroud has nowhere to go. Even if somebody was open, it would not have mattered. This is a classic clinic center pick by these double mug right here by the Packers. Hafley was in his bag against the Texans. I'm glad to see it. I'm hoping that I see more and more of this. He's got talent to do it up front, and he's starting to use his linebackers a lot more in the blitz game. I don't see him going wholesale into what he did at Boston College with like a 50% blitz rate, or even what the Vikings are doing within the division. But I do see this slowly amping up. Maybe we get over in the 30s on early downs, but we are definitely over the 50s in terms of blitz rate on these third downs. He's heating quarterbacks up. He's not letting them get comfortable, and he has the talent to do it, and he has the schematics and the concepts to do it as well. Glad to see it against the Houston Texans.